Hello, my students. Our lesson today is about fraction. Okay, the name of the lesson today is fraction. Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you think what is a fraction? Now, when you have a boy sliding on a slide, or the car moves on a road, or when you rub your hands, there is a fraction or a touch between two surfaces here in all these pictures. So this is the fraction. Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you think why this ball will stop after a while? Why? This is because the fraction. Okay, so the fraction force between two surfaces when they touch each other is affects in the opposite direction of the movement, and it causes the object to slow down and stop. So this is why the ball will stop after a while, because the friction force act in the opposite direction of the movement. Okay, now we have three types of friction. We have friction between two solid bodies. We have friction between body and air, or body and water. Okay. What are the factors that affect the friction force? First, type of the surface material. Second, the speed of the body. Third, the surface area of the moving object. And we will explain each factor. First type of friction is the friction between two solid objects. Okay, we said that when we ride a bike or a scooter, there is a friction between the tire of the bicycle and the floor. This is a friction between two solid objects. What are the factors that affect the friction between two solid objects? First one is the type of surface material. Let me ask you a question. Do you think which is easier to ride a bicycle on the floor or on the grass? Okay, let me answer. Now we have two surfaces. We have rough surface and smooth surface. Okay, here in another question, why the ball move for a larger distance on a smooth surface and move for a small distance on a rough surface? Okay, let me answer you. Here on the rough surface, the friction force increase. On the rough surface, the friction force increase. And we said that the friction force act in the opposite direction of the movement. So the ball will move for a small distance. But here on a smooth surface, the friction force decrease. So will move for a larger distance. Okay, good. The second type of friction is friction between solid objects and air. Okay, here we have this bird. When it fly in the air, there is a friction force between its body and the air called air resistance. Air resistance is a type of friction force between object and air. Examples or more examples: when you run in the air, or when the car or a scooter move, all these bodies have a friction between it and between the air called air resistance. Good. Now, the factors that affect the air resistance will be the speed of the object, or how fast the object moves. When the speed moves, the resistance moves, and the air resistance, like or as friction force, it acts in opposite direction. So when the speed move, the air resistance when the speed increase, the air resistance increase and causing the slowdown of the object. Okay, The second factor is the surface area of the object. How big or small is the area of the object? Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you think here which will reach the floor first, the large leaves or the small coconut or peanut? Okay, the large leaves has large surface area or big, it is a big leaf. So the air resistance here will be also large. So it acts in the opposite direction, causing the slowing down of the big leaves. But the small things have a small air resistance, so it will fall on the floor first. So when the surface area increase, the resistance also will increase and they have a direct direction. Okay, now let me ask you a question. Do you know what is the streamline shape? This is the streamline shape. It is the shape of the car, also the shape of the train. Okay, good. Here we have a give reason. Rockets, aircrafts, trains, cars, and birds have a streamlined shape. Why? Because this shape decrease the air resistance. Okay. Another question. The parachutist opens the parachute and birds stretch their wings on landing. Why? To increase the surface area. So the air resistance will increase, and we said the resistance acts in the opposite direction, so causing slowing down of the speed and land safely. Okay, now we have the third type of the friction, which is friction between solid objects and water. When we swim in water, we have a friction force between our body and the water called water resistance. So water resistance is the type of friction force between object and water. Good. It also like this example. What are the factors that affect the friction force or the water resistance? First factor is the speed of the object, the same as air resistance, how fast the object moves. When the speed increase, the resistance increase, causing the slowing down of the object. Okay, so the surface area of the object, the same as air resistance. When we have small surface area, the resistance will be small, and when we have big surface area, the resistance will be big. They have a direct direction. And this is the end of our lesson. Thank you, my dear students.